Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden, and this is a lab episode. I figured out how to manage fear yesterday. So this is a big one. I thought logic was the correspondence to overcome fear, but logic is a tool. I realized that fear was in direct ratio to choice, and that the more you choose, the less fear you have. And it very much weighed in exactly like a scale. You have choice and you have fear. And the center point is the center of balance, which is your beliefs. And you can use tools, reasoning, logic, and problem solving, expansive thinking, and deductive reasoning as tools to choice. The less logic, problem solving, expansive thinking, and deductive reasoning you have, the more your fear increases. And your fear infects the center of balance, your beliefs. And there's like this tug of war happening between choice and fear, where they are pulling at that center of balance. I refer to this as a belief-based system, which is actually a fear-based system, or a choice-based system, which is your logical center. And when we talk about free will versus destiny, a lot of people think what they're really comparing is free will to, choice. I have no choice. I am at the mercy of happenstance versus I have choice and the power to control my life. And there's people who go through life believing they have no control over their lives. And those are the ones who suffer and fear the most, who are tossed and turned all over the place. The people who take control and practice choice live a much smoother life, a much happier life. And logic, problem solving, expansive thinking, deductive reasoning are tools that allow us to make healthy and proper choices. Now, you can be bad at choices. You can be unskilled at making choices, which means that a lower perspective, a 2 or a 3, who's really not good at making choices, would default then to fear or trying to control their beliefs at the balancing point. And as you get smarter, as you gain more logic, your ability to navigate your fear and beliefs increases as your fear and your balancing point of beliefs decreases. In the meantime, you're balancing your belief system shifts from a fear-based belief system, an emotion-based belief system, over to a logic-based belief system. And that's when you start to realize that you do have much more control over your life. You do know how to get something done, or you know how to find the answers to get it done. And this is when you shift over into a problem-solving mindset. And as these things occur, you suddenly have the full ability to control your level of fear. Our stability, it is said, comes from confidence, and this is not true. That is not the point of origin of confidence. Confidence is actually a symptom of self-authority, which is a symptom of making choice. So if you are high fear, low confidence, unstable, self-doubt, you lack choice, you lack logic skills and the tools required to make choice, to implement choice. And as a result, you are now at the mercy of fear, of low self-esteem, and at no confidence. You are now unstable. And as you increase your logic, problem solving, expansive thinking, deductive reasoning, as you increase your tools for choice, you have an increased rate of managing and keeping balanced your belief system, which is now going to be choice-based as opposed to fear-based, which is going to stabilize you. And as things happen, you can step back and start to ask the question, how can I control this situation? Now, there's people who say, well, you can't control situations. Yes, you can, because you can problem solve around them. It's not so much controlling the situation. And that is where our comprehension of authority, power, and control come in. Control is our choice. Authority is our right to make that choice. And control is our skill in managing and making that choice. A lot of people try and use control as a catalyst to force, without consent, authority that doesn't belong to them. That is control. And when you leave control as a self-control, your skill management abilities that allow you to properly manage your power of choice through deductive reasoning, logic, and problem solving, specifically problem solving. When you realize that it is your right, your authority to access your own power of choice, to manage self-control, now you have the ability to literally navigate and apply problem solving to any situation as it occurs. So as things happen to you, you can choose to handle those situations with dignity and with calm, rational, deductive reasoning, or fear becomes reactive because you're not in control. And control, self-control, comes down to your ability to implement choice, exercise and access your power and your authority, and then implementing that skill so that you have self-control. So I see it very much now as a scale of, and this is the core of everything. This is the core of, like, if, and it's extraordinary because when I did the cognitive core, beliefs were in the center, and it never occurred to me, but beliefs were in the center. Like, that's one of those things where I felt it logically, and then I'm finding the words for it, and now the logic is starting to come in, and I'm going, oh, look at that. The beliefs are in the center, because the beliefs are literally the center of balance that fluctuates the cognitive core. Are you going to be somebody who allows the perspective and the name to dictate how your cognitive core fluctuates? Or are you going to use identity, ethics, and authority to increase that? So you have this scale that is either fear-based, with your reality, your perspective taking priority, fate, destiny, versus you choosing and using your authority to navigate your destination. This is very much a putting the cart before the horse. This is very much a which is the catalyst. And you exercise control over your life when the catalyst is choice, identity, and ethic. And when you prioritize those three things, you now have the ability to steer your life toward your destiny using self-control. But when you abandon choice, identity, and ethic, and you just drift toward the same destiny, acting like you have no choice, it's going to immediately put fear prior to the identity, the ethic, and the choice. It's going to keep you're choosing to make yourself helpless, while fear dictates the path. And this is important. It isn't the destination. Elizabeth, every time you walk past me, there's a shield, like a shadow. Please stop passing back and forth. Fear determines the path you take. Choice determines the path you take. The destiny doesn't change. The destination doesn't change. What you want doesn't change. What you want is already decided. Where you're going with it has already been decided. That is destiny, that is fate. But your choice and your fear are the determining how, which path you are going to take toward the destiny. So when somebody says, it's my destiny and I have no free will, that is no different than the person who says, I have choice and I am choosing. You both have chosen the same destination. The difference is not the destination you've chosen. The difference is your mindset with the path you've chosen. So the person who says, it is my destiny and I have no choice, has chosen to be at the mercy of happenstance through life. They've chosen the rocky, unpredictable, whatever the fuck happens, happens path. The person of choice is still going to the same destination, but they've chosen to navigate the waters. So choice is navigation, whereas fear is drifting without plan or action. And when you realize that when you step up and make choice, you can still choose the same destination. You can still say, yes, that is my destiny. Now I'm going to take action and just navigate myself with intention and purpose directly toward that strategically using logic and problem solving so I can overcome and circumvent the obstacles in my way. Whereas fear would go, oh, obstacle, slam. Oh, obstacle, slam. Oh, obstacle, slam. And you're still going to the same destination. So, and this is the most extraordinary thing. Fear is actually, and it is fear of the unknown. The thing is, when you believe in a God that is merciless, that is vengeful, you're suddenly at the mercy of a whimsical, tyrannical dictator who you can't predict. Whereas with choice, when you prioritize physics and logic, it's, oh, there's a mathematical logical order to the world and it's highly predictable and everything's going to be fine because it's no longer at the mercy of a whimsical unknown. And suddenly it's, I just need the formula so I can plug it in and I'll be able to navigate everything accordingly. And you're still going to the same destination. Somebody based on a fear system will go, I have no idea what's going to happen. Well, that's because you don't know. We love to say this phrase, ignorance is bliss. Oh, no, it's not. Ignorance is fucking terrifying. Ignorance is being in a black, dark hole at the bottom of a pit, being so fucking ignorant, and you are scared out of your shitless mind because you don't know a goddamn thing. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is a fucking terror hellhole. And this is what we mean by knowledge is power, is the more knowledgeable you are, the more logical you become, the more aware you become, the more conscious you can be with your choices so that you can go, okay, destiny exists. Fine, destiny is over there. I am going to destiny. Thank you, Liz. I am going to destiny. No different than the person who is based on fear going, it's not my choice. I have to go to this destiny. Okay, but choice is not you choosing the destiny. Choice is you deciding the path you're going to take to get there. Because the person who has choice is the same person going, yeah, I'm going to go to the same destiny, except I'm going to choose how I'm going to get there. So when you discuss free will and destiny and where you're going in life and purpose, you are not haggling over what the destiny and what the destination is going to be. You are discussing the how. And the person of choice is the one deciding which road is going to be the most navigated, whereas the person with fear is at the mercy of chaos, which is why you're so afraid, is because you have surrendered all control to intelligently navigate the journey. So either use choice to properly navigate the journey or drift aimlessly at sea. It's like saying you set sail on a ship and you say, I'm going to sail from the Americas over to Europe. Okay. And the person who is fear-based will say, it is my destiny to be in Europe. And they won't touch the helm. They won't navigate the waters. They will just sit back and let the ship drift. Eventually, you will end up in Europe, maybe. The person of choice will say, I'm going to Europe. And I'm going to use intelligence to navigate the water safely to get there faster. This is the difference. This is the difference between destiny and free will. Both have the ability to choose. Both have chosen to go to Europe. It's how they're going to get there that determines choice versus fear. Choice is the ability to say, I don't know how to get there, but I'm going to figure it out. It's the ability of saying, I don't know the answers yet to problem solve, but I'm going to intelligently educate myself to figure out the tools so I can have the tools to navigate to my destination. Fear says there's nothing I can do. Or you could learn. There's two levels of intelligence. There's people who go, I don't have the knowledge. I'm going to go get the knowledge. And then there's the people who are so ignorant that they don't even realize that they can go get the knowledge. So there's people who go, yeah, but I don't know how. And then they sit down and they quit. Well, you can go get the knowledge. Problem solving is the ability to say, I don't know how, but I'm going to go get the knowledge. The intelligent, the higher evolved will go, I'm going to go get the knowledge. And they go and get the knowledge. The people who are submissive to fear, usually the ones who believe in religion, are the ones who go, I have no idea. I am helpless. I can't do anything. And they sit down and they go, I don't know how. So why aren't you picking up a book? Why aren't you pursuing the knowledge? And because they're not even thinking of pursuing the knowledge, they're miserable. And they claim to be at the mercy of a God. They claim to be at the mercy of fate. They claim to be at the mercy of fear. But really, they're just choosing to not educate themselves because they are so uneducated that they don't even think to be educated. That's how far gone they are. And when you start to evolve, it's around here, around the fourth, fifth perspective, the fifth perspective, that you start to think, I don't know how, but I can find out. By the sixth perspective, you've got this down. You've got this down to a science. So if you're a 4-year-old at the sixth perspective, you're going to Hermione your way through every problem, literally. And if you are at the second perspective and you are at the second perspective, you're going to pray to a God and hope like hell he's nice to you. See the difference? And it's really, if you struggle with fear management, it's because you have surrendered 100% your power of choice. When you suffer from fear, when you struggle with fear, it's because you are literally doing no action to sit down and say, all right, I have choice. I'm afraid. Let's go ahead and look at the situation, analyze it, and problem solve it. I do nothing. I love this work. I do nothing but focus heavily on how to go from you've got a problem and you need to fix it, and here's how. Like, this is one of my favorite things, and I call it expansive thinking. That is what you can look up on my website on what it's called. And it's literally the step-by-step of problem solving. And it's literally from the identifying that you have a problem. It's literally my scientific method. If you look at my scientific method, that's it. It's identifying that you have a problem. Going, oh, I have a problem. What are my resources to resolve this? And it's the same thing we see when we have fear. I'm afraid of X. Okay, what are you afraid of? I'm afraid of ABC. Okay, well, what tools do you need to resolve that? Well, I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, there you go. You just made yourself a list of goals. Go get those things. Well, I want to, and we'll use this as an example. I want to create a video game. Okay, well, what's stopping you? Well, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. Well, great. You just created a list of goals. Go get this, and go get this. There you go. You have now a mission. You have components of a goal to create a bigger goal. And we don't do that. Well, a lot of people who are stuck in the second, third, fourth perspective don't do that. They go, okay, I have a problem, and then they sit down and they quit. Why aren't they problem solving? Well, because I don't know how. Well, what do you mean you don't know how? What do you want? What are you afraid of? Well, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this. And they start inventorying their resources or their lack of resources. Well, there you go. Now you know what you need to do. You need to go find your resources. You're stuck in a marriage that's making you miserable. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, what's stopping you? Well, I don't have money. I don't have the ability to do X. Well, you don't have the ability to do X. Let's say you don't have the ability to be dependent. That's really what it is people don't have the ability to be independent. Okay, well, maybe you need the components of independence so you can go be independent. You don't have enough money? Maybe you should go find a way to get the money. Maybe you should go, well, I don't have any skills. Well, there you go. Maybe you should get the skills you need to get the money to go get the job so you can be independent. Well, I don't know how. How what? Define it, break it down, dissect it, problem solve it. Now you have a list of resources. Well, he won't let me. You mean it will make him unhappy? Well, now you have a choice. What's your priority? Making him happy or making you happy? Because if your happiness is going to make somebody else happy, well, now you've got to choose. And that's it really right there. You have to choose now. It keeps coming back to the power of choice. It really does, over and over again. When you start to define what you want and you start to use your beliefs and your fears as bullet points to your resources or lack thereof, bullet points to obstacles that are in your way that then need to get converted over to, well, now you have a list of to do. Now you have reason because you want a goal. Well, there you go. Now you have a goal. Now you have purpose to get the fuck away from an abusive husband. So now look at your options. What resources are available to you? Write up a list of what you need, just like a recipe. I want to make lasagna. Do you have the ingredients? No. Sit down and just pout. Or you can write up a list of the ingredients. Look up a recipe to figure out how to do it. Problem solve it. Use expansive thinking. Understand that everything is built off of components and integration of those components into a greater whole. And when you live in a world of fraction thinking, integrating fractions to make greater wholes, and then integration into a greater whole, integrating fractions to a greater whole, integrating that fraction into a greater whole, you are absolutely so fucking powerful at that point. Because then when you get to a problem, when you get to a point in your life that you can't stand, if you are repeating the same mistakes, the reason why you're repeating the same mistake is because you are not analyzing the situation. You are at the mercy of fate, just putting you on repeat. You're not making a choice to learn. You are habitually following resources without stopping to say, I'm going to learn. So that's when you pause, you step back, you evaluate, and you step away and integrate the components. What is the common denominator? Why do you keep doing the same thing over and over? What isn't working? Trial and error it. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you're not learning, you need to trial and error it to figure out, okay, well, I've already done this. Let's do something different. What haven't I tried? We're back to problem solving again, analytical thinking, dissecting, self-evaluation, expansive thinking. Again, and it all comes down to your balance of power of choice and fear. And the more you plan, the more you use strategy, the more you figure it out, the more you analyze, the more you take control by planning out and strategizing, the less fear you're going to have. The fear is literally just going to diminish. That is how you manage your fear. Thank you so much for your audience, and may the kindest of words always find you.